All right, and we're back with the GSMC podcast.net. Oh, no, GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. I apologize. So let's jump right into our last segment. Obviously, we talked about our WWE SmackDown preview, our Thursday Night Wrestling review as well. We talked about the World of Ring of Honor, also Thursday Night Impact. We talked about our WWE Clash at the Castle predictions. Make sure you check into that. And we just got done recently speaking about if Dean Ambrose / John Moxley will ever make it back to the WWE. Honestly, I think at this point it's kind of dire. But we're gonna move on into our fifth and final segment. We're gonna try to finish this as soon as possible. As soon as possible. So let's get on into it. So we have, wrestling news roundup. Obviously, before I leave you guys into the wrestling world this weekend, I just want to kind of touch on some things that are, a little important. And, maybe that's something you can bring up to a wrestling fan and be like, oh, and that's an engaging conversation. Like, let's do this. First, we have Matt Riddle is injured, a former WWE star. Obviously, he's kind of being touched on Major League Wrestling and also New Japan Professional Wrestling. But he was in a car accident. His Uber driver messed up. I'm not too sure what happened in terms of that. Obviously, there's a lot of allegations kind of there that I'm not like really eloquent or adequate. I'm kind of speaking of, or kind of loud. I'm speaking of, but it's just kind of crazy. It's just kind of crazy how your life can kind of just flash in an instant. Something could happen. Matt Riddle was, he left kind of WWE tumultuously, and I would kind of love to see him come back. And I know that might be kind of, it might disgruntle some of the WWE fans out there. But Matt Riddle was good. I feel like he was great inside the ring. Obviously, you kind of had rated RK Bro. RK Bro, I don't know if it was rated. Obviously, Edge wasn't there. But I think he's great. I think he's a great wrestler. I loved seeing him. My wife called him Malibu Barbie. Like it was just so funny. But obviously he's not there to kind of be made fun of. But the way he jumped off and flipped off in sandals, and it was like bam, fireworks went off. I feel like Matt Riddle was somewhat. Obviously, he came from MMA. He came from an MMA background, so. And, when he came to wrestling, I feel like he was kind of set up to fail to begin with. But then he came to WWE and they kind of, they treated him right. He was, he feuded with the, Seth Rollins and stuff like that. He did fight, major wrestlers, and now he's part of the MLW, constantly flirting with the New Japan Professional Wrestling promotion. So, there could be a possibility for Matt Riddle to come back within the WWE. All right. So our next news segment, we're going to talk about Jeff Hardy, former WWE star, former AEW star. Officially, I feel like his contract has ended. Former TNA, legend, Jeff Hardy says that his AEW contract is up and he's willing to tag up. He's willing to be a part of TNA once again. And this is just big. This is big because obviously you have the 25-man Battle Royal at WWE NXT next Tuesday night. So I kind of brought this up. I did. I'm not trying to rub it in your face and be like, "Oh, I told you so." Like, no, nobody likes one of those guys who rubs things in other people's faces. But no, Jeff Hardy. He's been part of the wrestling circuit for so damn long. I kind of speculated on him helping Matt Hardy or helping maybe Moose defeat his brother, building up like a nice little brother versus brother kind of kind of a rivalry kind of thing. But Jeff Hardy is available. What does this mean for WWE? It's possible. What does this mean for WWE NXT? It's possible. What does this mean for WWE TNA? It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Definitely love Jeff Hardy coming back into the TNA scene. Hope all is well, especially with all that stuff that's kind of behind the curtains. Obviously I can't really I'm not really going to talk about it too much. But I hope Jeff Hardy's doing well. Hope he's ready to come back to wrestling and kind of fully put in his attention, his passion, but most importantly, just his absolute charisma. That's the reason why Jeff Hardy was really, really big. Next, we have Tala Tunga. Tala Tunga's name has been trademarked by WWE. Are we having a bloodline direction? Once again, is he going to debut at the WWE Clash at the Castle PLE in Glasgow, Scotland? Shortly, I feel like 3:10 in like 13 hours. Obviously, you have Scotland that's ahead of me right now. I'm on the West Coast. So, but this guy's huge. This guy's really, really huge. He's the younger brother of Tama Tonga and also Tongaloa. Um, I mean, Oh my god, I can't believe I messed that up. Is it Tongaloa? No, not Tongaloa. No, that doesn't make it. That sounds like a dance. Or I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Obviously, but this is going to be huge. This is going to be huge for the bloodline. What does this mean for Roman Reigns coming back? He's going to come back and he's going to see three Tungans and also Solo Sikoa running the bloodline, and he's going to be. I feel like he's going to be beaten down to a bloody pulp. It's gonna get to the point where people want Roman Reigns. Like he went from this absolute heel against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 39 and WrestleMania 40, where people were cursing his name. Even The Rock came back thinking that people were going to give him wide open arms. But it was thrown off because you had Cody Rhodes fans. You also had it was just WWE fans who really honestly wanted to see Cody Rhodes finish the story. So you're gonna have Roman Reigns comes back with all that scrutiny, all that like just baggage on top of him, and he's gonna come back. He's gonna have to take on Tungaloa, also Tamatonga, and also Talatonga and Solo Sikoa. So it's kind of crazy. It's kind of like when a warrior comes back to to his country and be like, hey, dude. Guess what? We replaced your ass, like and like even Paul Heyman's probably gonna have that. It's gonna be it's gonna be so awesome. I can't wait to find out with the storyline. That's why I'm highly invested into it. All right, next we have Logan Paul. Logan Paul was offered to substitute Mike Tyson's spot in the Jake Paul fight in the future. That's I don't like that. Maybe I can see these guys in a WWE ring fighting it out as brothers, but in a boxing ring, I feel like it's pointless. Why do you want to like fight your own brother? Why do you? I know if I had to fight my own brother, and if I know my brother was a rising boxing star, former YouTube A-lister, trying to establish his name within combat sports, why would I want to just disgrace his name? Why would I even want to throw shade? Why would I even want to, fight him? Because like although like it might benefit you and your publicity, overall within the Paul name, that's your brother, dude. That's your brother. And I feel like Logan Paul's not gonna really be into it. He's gonna be like, dude, this is stupid. This is, obviously the Mike Tyson and the Jake Paul fight, in my opinion, were highly just a publicity stunt for both of them. But with Mike Tyson dealing with his stuff, I doubt he's going to be able. He's going to be physically ready to fight Jake Paul. So I feel like I don't know how boxing's kind of cute in terms of like in terms of entertainment and stuff like that. I can maybe have Mike Tyson come out and be like, I'm representing this guy. This guy's my guy. He's gonna fight in my stance. Like I don't know how that's all gonna work, but I think it's gonna be kind of naive if you put the brothers against each other. I know Logan for a fact will not kind of get into it because he also has a WWE career to kind of worry about. You can't be getting a broken eye. You can't be getting a broken jaw. You can't be getting just all these injuries that you need to pursue your wrestling career. So, definitely think 1,010% he's going to pass on that. Lastly, once again, I say Joe Henry is more of a WWE superstar than a lot of these WWE NXT superstars. There was a bulletin board outside of Glasgow, Scotland with his face on it. There's no doubt in my mind that Joe Henry will be in the WWE NXT 25-man battle royal over the top rope to find out who's going to face Trick Williams. And, I feel like this historic collaboration between WWE and TNA is it needs to continue. It has to continue. If it continues, it's going to be great. Obviously, I know who answered Jordan Grace's open challenge, and since it's kind of heading toward the end of the show, and since it's Friday, let's get into it. Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley answers Jordan Grace's. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to spoil any of it for you guys. Tatum Paxley answers Jordan Grace's open challenge at TNA Against All Odds. And that's terrible. I'm sorry. That's dog doo doo. That's doggy doo doo. Joe Henry, I feel like it's great in WWE NXT. If he fights Trick Williams, at Heatwave, that'd be dope. But dude, like TNA, when WWE went to TNA, be like, hey, we're looking for someone to, kind of challenge our WWE World Women's Champion to a match at Battleground. It's our first event, kind of, with the UFC kind of name under it at the Apex Center in Las Vegas. So can we borrow an NXT superstar? NXT's no. Can we borrow a TNA superstar? TNA's like, yeah, Jordan Grace, she's on it, the TNA Knockout champion. Like, let's go, let's make this work out. But then they're like, hey, but we would like to like one of your superstars make an appearance on our show. Like, why not? That's just good business right there. You know, you get what you get what you give. You get what you give in life. This life you put in, ultimately what you put into life is what you will get back. And then you have TNA that go to WWE. Like, all right, like that's good. I love the match at NXT Battleground. Roxanne Perez, she beat our main girl who's been a juggernaut, who's been absolutely untouchable. Who do you have for us to kind of offer here? Like, do we have Natalia, Neidhart, the Heart Foundation? Do we have potentially, do we have someone big like, even like we'll take Last Legend, like, what I mean, or Jada Parker, whatever. Like, no, but we'll give you Tatum Paxley. We'll give you Tatum Paxley. I feel like that's terrible. I feel like that's a huge diminishment of the TNA. I feel like it's kind of like, and this might seem a little, kind of obscure to some of you guys, but do you guys remember trading Pokemon cards? I know this might seem like a huge jump. Or do you remember trading baseball cards or basketball cards, football cards, where you just like, oh, dude, I want that Dan Marino card so flipping bad. And they're like, I'm gonna give you this, I'm gonna give you that. But I want that Dan Marino card. Like, yeah, dude, I want to give you Dan Marino, but instead, I'll give you a Troy Aikman, or not talking crap on Troy Aikman at all, but like, we'll give you something that's not worth what you gave us, and that's something like you gave him Jordan Grace. Why couldn't you give someone more prominent within the WWE NXT? Kind of like, why couldn't you do that? Like, that just baffles me. That just sends me to bananas. Obviously, honestly, I feel like, and I'm not like, obviously, I'm a WWE prominent kind of guy, but I feel for I feel for TNA. I feel like they were ultimately robbed within this promotion for the TNA. Knockouts Open Championship. Obviously, if you want Jordan Grace to kind of retain the championship easily, yeah, let in Tatum Paxley. But I don't know. I just feel like it was kind of dirty. Kind of did him kind of dirty. So, hey guys, thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Leave a positive review here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity all the way, baby. We also invite you guys to follow us on Facebook, Twitter/X, Instagram, and TikTok for more content and updates. Once again, thank you for tuning into my show. If I haven't made you a wrestling fan by now, we have sports and sports and sports. Be a part of this bloodline of sports, networking. But most importantly, have an amazing weekend. Have an amazing Father's Day weekend. Grab the ones you hold them tight. Have a good barbecue. Have a couple of drinks, and just, hey, enjoy life. Have a good night.